Olá, queridos espectadores do Nós Nerds. Estamos aqui com mais uma entrevista internacional, dessa vez com o meu xará, o Christian Imheysus, do Xbox Playdates US. Isso é uma comunidade em que o pessoal organiza jogos online, encontros de jogos online para jogar online num ambiente tranquilo, seguro. Igual aquela peladinha que a gente organiza para jogar na várzea, eles fazem isso só que online, principalmente principalmente não, obviamente só com jogos multiplayer. Eu explico um pouco mais do blog, o link da reportagem está aqui embaixo. Também está o link do Twitter dele, da página no Facebook do Xbox Playdate, do Twitter deles, para vocês poderem ir atrás, se informarem. O BIM, eles transmitem os jogos pelo BIM, isso é muito importante. E a gente bateu um papo aí bem legal, onde a gente falou sobre o Playdate, a história dele nos games, que é bastante incomum, eu diria, vocês vão perceber. E sobre o casamento. E aí você me pergunta o que o casamento desse cara tem a ver com coisa geek. Eu vou te explicar. O cara inventou e fez essas abotoaduras de botão de Xbox que piscam. Um negócio sensacional ele contando como isso aconteceu. Então fica de olho aí. De novo a entrevista é em inglês, mas aqui tá por aqui mais ou menos, tem aquela rodinha lá. Dá para acertar nas configurações a legenda automática do Google e a tradução. Tá legal, dá para acompanhar direitinho. E dessa vez, quem viu o último vídeo tem uma cena pós-crédito de novo, mas a cena dessa vez é séria, não é palhaçada. Então acompanhe e fique de olho. Estilo Marvel, vai falar do nosso próximo capítulo. Joia, um abraço, até a próxima e divirtam-se. Hi everyone, it's Chris again from Nos Nerds in another international interview. We're talking today with another Chris. He is a gamer, he is a community leader for gaming, he is the inventor of the Xbox blinking cufflinks, and he's a groom, so a lot of stuff together. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Okay, good. I forgot to ask, is it Chris, Christian, whatever?
I prefer Christian.
Okay, sure. So Christian, you're about little longer than a month away from your wedding. And I want to start about this topic because it's how I actually got to you, which is the Xbox cufflinks that you made. And
Yeah.
we can link it below so people can know it. And I thought the idea was amazing. How did you get to this idea?
So it really just was trying to find something kind of unique for myself on the wedding. And I went to Etsy and there was plenty of like Xbox related cufflinks, but there just wasn't that one that I wanted. Where surprisingly there were a lot of Xbox 360 controller guide buttons, like kind of made out of cufflinks. But you know, this is Xbox One. We're in the new year, the new age. So I couldn't find any, and I was kind of complaining to my friend about not being able to find it. So she was helping me trying to find them too, and between the two of us, we couldn't find anything. She finally said, "Hey, why don't you just make some?" And I was like, "You know what? That's a great idea. I should just make it." And I mean, it started as a simple idea. I just wanted a guide button glued to a cufflink, and I was like, "That's great. I can do that." And then I don't know. I just was like, "Why don't I add a light to it too? That seems perfect."
So, but did you disassemble a guide button from a controller, or did you buy a spare one, or what?
Yeah, I spent. It was surprisingly difficult to find like a spare guide button on like eBay, but I eventually found someone just selling a single guide button. Everyone else was trying to like sell broken controllers for like repair uses, but those, you know, they were asking for the cost of the whole controller. But yeah, so just some guide buttons, and then they sell like blank cufflinks where it's just kind of a flat pad that you can glue stuff onto. And then yeah. So here's the button, right? So the guide button came separately. The post here kind of came separately, where it's just a flat pad.
Okay.
And then I had to obviously buy the light separately as well, the LED. That one took a little bit of trial and error because my first idea, you know those like kind of fake tea lights that like restaurants will put
Yeah, I
in?
know.
They're at the dollar store, and I was like, you know what? I bet I could bust one of those open and stick it in there. But the like LED was almost too big, so went back to eBay and found just like these pre-wired micro LEDs, and it was perfect because they were really small, so I didn't have to do like a lot of like making a hole in the guide button for a spot for it. But surprisingly, these guide buttons are really tall, so I had to like kind of shave it down so that it was a lot thinner, and it didn't look, you know, as giant because they were like really tall
I had
buttons.
no idea. I never disassembled my controller to see how big it is.
Yeah. I had no idea either, but I was surprised to see. But I think I took maybe I'm gonna go with like 1 or 2 centimeters off of it, trying to make it shorter,
Okay.
so it didn't look like this giant button.
And how long did this whole project take?
I mean, I worked on it kind of like off and on, where it was like, I need to do this, and then I realized, oh, I should probably get this tool. So like, I ended up buying a Dremel so that I could try and shave it. I tried sanding it by hand, and it was taking forever. But it maybe over the course of like 2 or 3 weeks of like realizing, oh, I should buy that, and then like also accounting for the light because that came in later where I decided to add that, and then I had to wait for it to come and all of that. But
It's actually
it
pretty
was
fast.
yeah, it wasn't too bad. It didn't take a ton of time, and then I just super glued it together after I kind of got everything to the right height that I wanted and made a spot on the back of it for the LED fit. I just threw a ton of super glue at it.
So the secret is eBay and super glue. I mean, you can probably save the board with these two things, right?
Yeah, I think honestly is like the cost of making it. I spent $5 on the LEDs, and I got like 10 of them, right? So I could make another like 8 sets or something. No, 4 sets. And then the guide buttons were probably the most expensive. So for 2 guide buttons, it was like $12.
Okay.
And then the cufflink post was like $3 or something. So it was a pretty cheap project, but
It is.
I think it turned out really awesome, and I can't wait. I'm just really excited. We got a great photographer, and I'm just gonna make sure that she gets some sweet shots of my cufflinks glowing at the wedding.
This is very important for the wedding, a good photographer.
Yeah,
So,
that was the one thing that we kind of like splurged on with the wedding, was definitely the
I
photographer.
agree. And is your future wife a gamer too?
She is not.
What's
It's
her reaction to your idea? Because I mean,
so we've been together long enough at this point that she knows how much like gaming means to me, so she was very supportive and excited to see how it was coming
this
along.
is very important in a wedding. Well, cool.
Yeah.
So and okay, so this is your passion today, and how did it start? I mean, for gaming, or did you start with comics, or how did you get? Because you're a lot into games, and you're very geeky
Yeah.
and tech savvy and all of that. We can see from that. So how did it all start?
It started. I mean, as far as gaming, it started when I was younger. Sega had the Game Gear. It was this like big honkin'
I
handheld
remember.
where it weighed like 5 or 6 pounds, and it took 6 AA batteries. But
And in 2 hours they were dead.
yeah, exactly. But I had one of those when I was younger, and I played the crap out of that until it was dead, and eventually upgraded to a Game Boy, and then I got my first console was the Xbox, and it was all because I I went over to my cousin's house, and he and a bunch of friends were playing Halo, and I was like, I need to play that. So it was the Halo 2 wagon that sucked me up and got me in love with Xbox.
And that was the first Xbox, right? Halo 2.
Yeah, yeah, the original Xbox was Halo 2 that I remember I was working a like a newspaper delivery route, and it took me like a good solid month to save enough money to go buy a like a console bundle with the game for like $180 or something like that for my first console, and after that, I've always had one.
Okay. This is so strange because you're the first person I ever met that started with handhelds. Usually people start either at PC or they had a Nintendo or something like that, and I never heard. And you got the Game Gear and then the Game Boy and then you went into consoles. This is so peculiar.
Yeah, I actually haven't gone back to handheld. Like I stopped kind of playing handheld. Even on my phone, I don't play very many mobile games there. I don't know. It was just fell in love with the console and controller and that big screen and the multiplayer. Yeah.
So besides game, how old were you when you had your first Game Gear? So
I think maybe like 7 to 10. I got pretty lucky and scored like a sweet birthday present with that one. But yeah, I think I was around that age, 7 or 10.
Yeah, that's usually when they got the kids hooked, right?
Yeah.
Cool. And besides gaming, are you a comics fan or like Marvel, all that stuff?
No, not big into comics. Like I kind of know enough to keep track of what's going on, but never got into comics as far as that goes. Really, it's just video games all the way. I'm very nerdy, so a lot of my hobbies are tech related. As far as like, I really want to get into 3D printing.
Cool.
I love to get into like flying drones and like drone racing.
Do you drone race, or do you have a drone?
I don't, but it's on the list. Like the 3D printer and the drone are kind of competing for what comes next.
We had a couple of weeks ago in Brazil a big exhibition. It's called Brazil Game Cup. It was mainly focused on gaming competition like Dota, Overwatch, and all of that. And they had a drone racing arena. It was the first drone racing.
That's all.
It was pretty cool.
I have a friend, which is why I've gotten more into it, is he's kind of showing me the ropes, and he asked me to go flying today. So if all goes well and the weather isn't crap, we might go flying.
Cool. So do you want to build your own drone, or because you can find all the parts on eBay and buy it for yourself, or you gonna buy one that's already out of the box?
I think that it's certainly cheaper, like when you go get all of the parts, and I'm not really what you would call a maker at this point, but I'm enthusiastic about making stuff, so like that's why like I was really excited to make the cufflinks, and I've also am making like a custom camera booth for the wedding out of like a Raspberry Pi, but also is like I would have so much fun putting together a drone, so I'll probably end up going the route of like getting a kit or buying all the parts to put it together myself.
Cool. Good luck with that. Drones are a lot of fun.
Thanks. Yeah, the few I've only gotten to fly once so far, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, it's not that hard. I mean, you've been playing video games for many years now. I mean, it's not that different. I mean,
No,
It's
it,
second
it
nature
isn't.
for us, right?
Yeah, it's really just as long as you can keep your like perspective or your bearings, it's pretty good. It's fine. And even and that was flying without like a first person goggle.
Mhm.
Uh, so like that, your orientation changes a lot when you're flying. But if you're flying first person, you're flying first person, so your orientation doesn't change. You can always just throttle forward and know where you're going. So I think if I get to try on the goggles, it'll be a lot easier. Which seems weird to say, but I think it would be totally easier than flying without them.
Cool. Must be very cool. So going back now to the Xbox, which is today your passion. I can see an Xbox controller in your shirt. Uh,
Yeah, this is our Xbox Playdates US logo. So we got some custom shirts.
cool. So when did you guys have this community? So what you do is get people together so they can play online and have some fun. Uh, why did you guys have this idea? When did you start that?
So, it originally spawned from Xbox MVP in France by the name of Mooney and Jedi. They started this whole kind of like Xbox Playdates thing, and they just had like a large community and decided, hey, if this is doing well, we should see where else we can do well. And I think I just kind of got lucky as far as I don't even know how I stumbled across it, but I just found a tweet that said, hey, we're looking for someone to help with this. Would you be interested? Send us a message. And I've always, like, I love the Xbox community, and so I was just kind of in the mood, like, how do I give back? How do I, like, include myself more in this community? And replied, and they're like, perfect, let's bring you on. And so then I took over the US. So right now I'm leading the Xbox Playdates US team, and we've got some others helping me as well.
How long do you guys have this group?
I think we're just about 3, maybe coming up on 4 years of being around. I would say is like the last 2 years have been the most productive or active or growing, where we've had like a decent turnout and people joining, and the word getting spread. So things are kind of like starting to pick up now.
Okay. Did Beam make your life much easier on that? The new app where you can broadcast?
Yeah. I actually didn't get to stream. So when we tried moving over to Beam, I had all sorts of problems. But at any rate, is our other team members. So there's Bowski477 and Scratch. They're both Xbox MVPs, and our recent addition, 4 Ninja Toads. We all kind of take turns of streaming, and my setup was busted until the Beam app came out and I could start using that. So I just recently got back in the rotation as far as streaming for those nights.
Cool. So you guys have a Twitter account, you have a Facebook page, which I'll link in the description below. You guys have a Beam channel, and are you on Twitch too?
We were on Twitch, but we stopped broadcasting over there. It's kind of a backup right now, is like if we have problems with Beam, we'll broadcast on Twitch, but we weren't getting the same interaction from the community. Like, I think with Beam, it's 100% like having that quick, low latency. As soon as I say something, or they say something, I can respond to it, right?
Yeah, that helps.
But when we were in Twitch chat, is like they would say something, and then I would respond, but they don't hear it for another 30 seconds. They get bored and leave. But Beam, it's totally like that conversation, and it's been really great for our channel.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been into watching streams, but with Beam, I really like this really fast capacity to actually talk to people and it helps.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's you can have a real conversation over it, and it's a lot of fun.
Okay. And before you started this community, the Xbox Playdate, were you into online gaming, multiplayer, or were you more like single player? Did this?
I am 100% an online gamer. I enjoy a good story, but I only have the capacity for like a 7, 8 hour campaign before I'm like, all right, let's get to the multiplayer. Let's do something.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's pretty short.
yeah. I mean, all of the Halo campaigns have been roughly in that ballpark, but I usually will only play a campaign once. I don't really go through multiple times or find all of the collectibles. As I'll do it to get the initial feel, and then I head straight to the multiplayer. Like all of Halo 2, 3, 4, and now 5 has been like just always in the multiplayer. I can't even think of how many hours between Halo and all of that I've played, but it's a lot.
So I can assume you never play like Final Fantasy or Fallout or Skyrim or stuff like that.
I haven't. Those games kind of scare me because they're just so vast. Like they're just so big, and I kind of have
overwhelming, aren't they?
Yeah. I have like a little bit of that completionist in me, like mentality. So I'm scared that if I start it, I won't stop until I complete it, and then that's like 400 hours or something on some of those games. So it's daunting. Yeah. So I stick to my multiplayer. It's the easiest as far as like I want to play a couple of games and call it good, or I'm gonna stay up all night and play with a bunch of friends.
Cool. And before you guys played, did you have any problems online? Because we hear a lot of people that were, I don't know, people that were harassed, they were threatened online. I mean, this happened to me. I have some friends that had really big fights online. And I believe that you guys build up this community to try to create like this safe environment so people can play and not be afraid of that. Did you guys have any bad experiences before?
So far in our like community is I don't think we've had anything major. There's been like a few instances, but there is really nothing where it was serious enough that we had to like ban anyone or like kick anyone out of the club or anything like that. It's always just been like, hey, we're trying to be a good place here. We don't appreciate, that kind of language or you talking like that. And it usually kind of settles out so far.
Okay.
So we've had good luck in that regard.
Great. But outside this community, you never had any problems also?
Not really. I mean, it's easy to get a message where someone calls you a name and either block it or report it, and I mean that's no skin off my back. If you want to be like that, it's not gonna affect me.
I think these are the most important things to do is to block, report, so Microsoft can take action and not give too much attention. I mean, it's it doesn't benefit me to like worry about it or stress about it, so I don't let it affect my day, because I just won't respond and I'll report you if you throw something bad at me. That's cool. So you're a very big Halo fan from what I can see, right? Is this your favorite game?
Right now, I've gotten sucked into Overwatch, but Halo is certainly like what has driven me probably the last 90% of my gaming life has been Halo. But recently with Overwatch coming out, I have just been sucked into it, and I played a lot of it.
Certainly.
And then before that was Destiny. I kind of fell off the Destiny wagon when Overwatch came out. It was just a lot of fun.
Are you anxious for Destiny 2?
I am. I'm very anxious for Destiny 2. I absolutely loved Destiny. It was just like I just kind of got overwhelmed with all of the item management, and I
Which class did you
it got
play?
repetitive. I'm a hunter.
Okay.
When it comes to my first-person shooter games, I prefer precision, and so hunter was my class. It let me do like the medium range precision weapons, and I had a lot of fun with that.
Cool. So you're mainly into shooters.
Yeah, as far as like my personal games, I end up playing a lot of first-person shooters.
Did you play Gears of War, or is it too long of a campaign for you?
No, I played Gears of War. It was really funny because I picked up the Ultimate Edition,
Yeah.
and was playing through that, and it didn't dawn on me until I was playing through the Ultimate Edition that I never played the very first one. I apparently like jumped in on the second one because I was playing. I was like, this looks not familiar. What's going on here? But and then I kept going. But yeah, I played all of them all through Gears of War 4, but I don't like that multiplayer. That is like too close range for me, and
Okay, with all the shotguns and
yeah, the Nasher gameplay on that, I don't have a ton of fun with it, so I don't play the Gears multiplayer that much.
Okay, I agree. I just asked because I'm a huge Gears of War fan. I have a cousin that showed me Gears of War 1, and this is how I got into Xbox. So it's a very similar story to yours,
Yeah.
but with Gears
Yeah.
and not Halo.
Yeah. It's a great game, so I had a lot of fun with that one too.
It is. It is a lot of fun. Do you guys do anything outside of the virtual worlds, like get together?
We're all spread across, Scratch, as far as like our core, Scratch and Bowski, they're on the East Coast, and Four Ninja Toads is in Washington, and I'm stuck in the middle with Boise. So, on the few occasions that I make it to Seattle for PAX, I've been able to hang out with Four Ninja Toads, but PAX is like the kind of the biggest time I think since maybe 2013, the last 5 or 6 years, I've pretty consistently made it to PAX Prime, and so that's when I get most of my like physical interaction with my game friends or my online friends that are in that area at least.
Okay, PAX, that's PAX Seattle, that's PAX West, right? Because they got
Yeah. Oh yeah. They just recently changed it to PAX West. It was PAX Prime, but like last year, I think they changed it to PAX West.
Cool. So you didn't know these people in person before you actually met them. I mean, you've been playing around for months or maybe years, and then you met them.
Yeah. PAX was really interesting for me this year because, like I said, our community kind of grew recently, and I ended up talking to a lot of people at PAX that I have, only met online through gaming, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think this is something very, very cool about online gaming that we have today and these online communities. Even though, okay, maybe people spend too much time in front of the computer and social media and stuff, but you actually have the opportunity to meet people that you will never meet before, both
Yeah.
online and then in these big events, you have the chance to meet them in person. I think
Hmm.
this is pretty cool. We have a very big Xbox community here in Brazil too. And I got some
Hmm.
pretty good friends that live, I don't know, 6, 7, 800 miles away from here. And I never met them in person, but I mean, we're talking to each other every week, at least 2, 3 times a day. And this year now, we're gonna have this big meeting of everyone at the Brazil Game Show, which is it's our E3.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
So
I ever since Halo 2 and like talking to people in London and Australia and stuff, it was always just like kind of so awe-inspiring that I can meet these people that are all the way across the world. Even just meeting you and talking to you, it's really cool, and I enjoy it a lot. I end up spending more time with my cousin, who's in another state, on Xbox Live playing games with him than I do without. Like, I rarely get to see him in person, but we always stay in touch because I'm playing games with him, and it's great.
That's very cool. Now, I'm going to ask you a very controversial question.
Mm-hmm.
We're not into console wars or anything like that in our blog, and we don't like it.
Yeah.
But have you ever played PlayStation? Or Nintendo, Wii, or the Switch, or anything like that?
So I had a Wii for a while when that first came out until Kinect came out. It was like, wow, this motion and Wii is like crazy cool and fun, and we would invite everyone over. And then I think it was like maybe 7 months later or something, we picked up a Kinect in our house, and then we started playing that all the time. But as far as PlayStation, my cousin that I was just talking to you about, he owned a PlayStation for quite a while. So mainly, if I had played it, it was with him. So like PlayStation 2, yeah, it was just the 2. But I have nothing against PlayStation. They just don't have the games that I like to play.
Me neither. And I don't like their controller. It's kind of maybe too small for my hand. I don't know, but I don't like the analog sticks. I don't know, it just doesn't fit for me.
Yeah, I agree. The only game that I have been meaning to like steal someone's PlayStation for is Last of Us. Everyone said Last of Us is good, and it's still kind of on my list if I find someone that wants to let me borrow their PlayStation.
And it's a short campaign. You can blast it in 10 hours.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only real desire to pick up a PlayStation controller is try that one.
Okay. Well, they have some amazing games too. I mean, as I said,
yeah,
we talk on the blog about mainly. We have a lot of Xbox players, but we try to talk about everything. And I have a friend. He once said that the best console is the ones your friend have, and the best is the ones they're playing.
Yeah.
It's if I have, let's say I have a PlayStation 4 Plus and I'm playing Call of Duty, and all my friends are playing Battlefield 1 on Xbox. I mean,
yeah.
I'm losing all the fun. All the fun is meeting with people, playing online, having your friends playing with you. So I think this is the best. When people ask me, which console should I buy? I always say, what do your friends play?
Yeah, what do your friends have? Totally. It's always like when you add your friends to it and you can talk to them and play with them, it like increases your fun by like 5. Like without that, sure, you're entertained and you're enjoying yourself, but it's not like truly you're laughing, you're talking, did you see that until you have friends with you.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we play video games to have fun, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Christian, unfortunately our time is up because we try to keep our interviews shorter than 30 minutes, otherwise people won't watch them. So
yeah.
I thank you very much for your time, for this interview. It was amazing meeting you.
Yeah, it was great to meet you. I had a lot of fun, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me as well.
I have one last question. I forgot.
Sure.
Your gamer tag.
Uh-huh.
I'm Jesus, or how do you say that?
Jesus.
So what does it mean? Is it what I'm thinking about?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
So, being my name's Christian is, I got a lot of just really bad religious jokes growing up. And so it was kind of one of those...
I studied in the US, so I know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah. And so it was one of those where just like instead of ignoring it or something, I would try to head on. and then I turned it into a game of how many people could I like convince that my name was Jesus, and so it was just a fun game for me.
Okay.
And it made for a clever gamer tag just because I have yet to find a service that someone has stolen my handle on, so it's been perfect. It started originally on like YouTube. It was Some Call Me Jesus, but it was long. It was like 20 characters or something, and eventually shortened it down to the I'm Jesus.
Okay. My gamer's tag is a nickname that my aunt gave to me when I was a kid. So it's also very easy to find empty usernames all across the internet.
Right, yeah, and that's like half the battle is like you don't want to have to remember 5 different usernames. So I am particularly fond of mine, and
Cool.
it's always fun to see how people try to pronounce it.
Yeah, and I love people that know how to make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, what's life without a little humor?
Exactly. Well, once again, thank you very much. It was amazing. Hopefully we can play online sometime. I'll be following you guys on Beam, and as soon as you play a game that I have, I'll just be shouting there, me, pick me, so you guys.
You got it.
And I wish you all the best and all the luck for the big day.
Thank you.
Enjoy a lot. It's a lot of fun. And, well, maybe we can have you on the channel later sometime.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to seeing the final interview.
I'll let you know when it's up. Thank
All
you
right.
once again. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hej Natsnets, jeg er Stinella, og jeg glæder mig til, at I skal se det næste videoklip, fordi I kommer ikke til at fatte en skid af det, jeg siger lige nu i hvert fald.
E aí, entendeu alguma coisa do que ela disse? Relaxa, porque eu também não, mas na próxima entrevista pelo menos você vai saber que língua que ela falou. Espero que com essa cena pós-crédito aí, conforme prometido, eu tenha pelo menos te deixado curioso para ver o nosso próximo vídeo, onde a gente bater um papo bem legal com ela. E aí fico esperando vocês, e se vocês tiverem alguém que vocês queiram que a gente entrevista, só deixar nos comentários, mandar no Twitter. Não garanto que eu vou conseguir entrevista, mas que a gente vai atrás, a gente vai. Valeu, um abração, até a próxima.